sample and you start going down through here. It does not take it to the exact page. It will take you to it gives you a group of pages to look at, and you go from there. It is a book that has been in the forestry department for 1,000,000 years, and they have them, and so we wanted to keep using them. So what I did is I built a small dichotomous key so that you don't have to look through the whole. And this is what would happen is people would get their leaf and then they would go page by page comparing the leaf with their sample. And so what I did is I built this dichotomous key that it narrows down to just a few pages. That book is yours for the keeping, and also the insert that goes with it. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but every one of these are identical. I would suggest strongly putting your name somewhere on this thing. Okay, I do want the green ones back as well as the leaves. Just pass them over to the... Did they go somewhere? Let's pass them over to this side. Now, there is an assignment that has to be done. This is not it. This is more wonderful info. Is somebody coming up to my side? Yes. Yes.
Once a tree has been identified, what are important characteristics or knowledge to learn about that, just in order to talk about it? In terms of not just saying, hey, this is the name of something, but actually knowing something about it. Well, it's a home for XYZ, or it provides this, or, you know.
Correct. I think, and I'm trying to think if there is I don't think there is a list of pieces of information, but, you know, walnut is good for furniture. Boy, the one you have trouble with is white oak, especially with kids, because white oak right now is a hot commodity for what?
Bourbon barrels.
For what?
Bourbon barrels.
Oh, I think, yes, bourbon barrels. And you know, you don't want to send that message to kids. You don't want that message getting home that they were talking about bourbon at school, because that's what it comes down to. They don't remember anything else except they were talking about bourbon in school. Okay, so but there, you know, all these trees have, and in that book, turn to any one page, and I think it gives products.
Oh, okay.
I think it does give products. Dogwood was a very important product.
It's a value category, which I think is a little bit loaded, but
yeah,
it's nice.
You pick and choose. But the dogwood was very interesting because it made shuttlecocks, and a shuttlecock is, if you know anything about weaving, there is this thing that goes back and forth. No, it's the one that gets thrown. If you go to a great big huge loom, that thing gets thrown, that thread gets thrown across all of that opening, and that thing had to take sustained punishment, and dogwood was that one. I'm sorry to say, it's just one of those things that you just have to get comfortable with. And but yes, every tree has some value for one thing or another, and that's the one place to go. Yes, sir.
I was fascinated about what's on plant lore.
Yes.
That is a great wealth of information about history and usage.
Oh, you mean there is such a one, such a
Plant lore?
book or books?
Books.
Books, okay. So there you go right there is plant lore. The thing is I'm coming from a forestry background, and so I'm interested in, you know, the value of the tree for money.
Commercial, right?
Yeah, commercial.
The spikes that they made from that hard wood used to mark or work with machinery, and they called it a dog, and that's really a thing, but that's just one piece of it. Cool.
Okay, I'm just not familiar with that. Okay, but there are a lot of, yes, stories about trees. It's just one of those, yes, if you would be so kind, I'm going to keep one. This is your assignment. I hate to say, I didn't make this up. The lady who was in charge. And what she's asking you to do is to make a leaf collection. And I think 4 different...
This is for the UK students.
Oh, only?
This is for the UK students, but if you all want to do these too.
Oh, how many students do we have in here? UK?
No, the UK class. There's a separate class, the one
Okay, and it's not for here?
No, but they can do it.
Oh, please do it. Okay, so it's not an assignment.
If they miss a class, they have to do this.
Oh, okay. Well, then it sounds like I misinterpreted what was being done here. This basically will help you, put leaves into their assorted places. The other one that I handed out that was multi-paged, this is our terminology. Oh, there is, you see down there at the bottom of page 1? That was that. You remember I had a black and white that went from left to right? Well, Laurie has done it from top to bottom, is what she's done here. And basically the words and all of the things that we have covered, I'm looking through here, and they're on, doesn't have page numbers. There's bipinnately compound. There aren't too many of those. All of these are the words that you need to know to be able to start teaching this stuff. But I think we used almost 99% of these words tonight in some way, shape, or form. There is a tree, and they refer to it as world, which means, you have opposite and then you have alternate. There's one called world, W-H-O-R-L-E-D. And basically what it is, as you go around the stem, there are multiple leaves coming out, which means there would be a bud in multiple places. I think it's catalpa. I think it's the only one. And I normally don't investigate it here because there's only one of them in Kentucky, and I think it's the catalpa that's world. And there's multiple buds at one elevation, more than 2 at least. Okay, I think it's actually 3. Okay. But I would strongly suggest that, this would be the exercise that I would put together if I was having to teach something. Again, it's for those classes that last 2 hours, and it's for those classes where the teacher says, and now we'll turn it over to you, and you've got 10 minutes in which to do everything that you said you were going to do that we said you were going to do in 50 minutes. Okay? It's really easy. And I've done this many times, going out and doing 4-H field days. They come at you, a school is sent out to you, and they come to you at a class at a time, and you've got literally 10, 12, 15 minutes max, because they forgot to say that, we need 5 minutes for them to travel to the next station. Okay? So I will have Laurie next week bring you that chart so that you can see that. So it's a one-time expense as far as time and effort to put it together, but it's real easy for you to do a fast, quick presentation. The thing is, I don't want a student to go home having memorized something. I want to send a student home with a skill. And the sheet that Laurie will give you next week about the 10 common trees of Kentucky is a skill. They can do this. It's not hard at all. But so many times, and that's the other thing is these kids, they come and they hear this class, they get on the school bus and go home, and the 3 trees that they had to memorize don't exist in their, in their area. So here they are, they're real good at memorizing these 3 that they taught them to memorize, but when they get back to their home site, none of those trees exist. So here is a skill, by using this little green book for $5, you've taught a skill for everybody to learn how to do it. So, you remember I said at the beginning, I'm going to teach you how to identify every plant and animal in the world. If you have the correct dichotomous key, you can do such a thing. I will say this, to identify a lot of those plants, that book is probably this big. But the thing is the concept is there, okay? The concept is there. What else do we need to know?
All right. We'll send around some evaluations for you.